in need of a new anchor light, but the mast goes up tomorrow. I tried to find one down here, this replacement, and I could find it in the States, but getting it down here was going to be a bit tricky. So I'm just going to do a quick repair on this and get the right one on order. We'll have to ship it somewhere up in the States because I just don't have time to wait around here for this to come in. But this should do the trick. Just mixed up just a touch of thickened epoxy. We'll push this together and I'm sure this will hold. That looks good. There's my little quick fix. We'll let that dry in the sun here for a couple hours. I think the next thing I want to do is get that radar on. We'll lug that up next.
And then, once again, our camera gear decided to randomly cut out our microphone over the course of the next 12 shots. I'll do my very best to reenact the storyline to accurately detail the, most likely, intelligent dialogue to precisely mirror the script for the muted scenes. Well, would you look at that? Our anchor light, the epoxy, has set up nicely. So let's just set that down and pick up the replacement bulb. Nope, let's pick up the anchor light again. Set that down, pick up the replacement bulb. Right here I start talking about how I need to get this installed because the crane comes in the morning, so it's very important, and I get a quick glimpse of myself in the mirror and realize how that color of that shirt really sets off my eyes. Okay, let's quickly look outside for the weather and say, oh, looks good. Maybe we'll just run up there and button up this project. During the 2-minute walk up to the haul-out yard, it gave me just enough time to reflect on the collective work of Aristotle's criticism and rejection of Plato's theory of forms. It always makes me ponder the obvious irony. With my brain all pumped up, I was excited to finish up this quick project. And about at this point I realized that this delicate little mylar envelope is smarter than I am. So I take out a razor and just cut it open. The bulb is pretty straightforward. You just put it in and twist. Anybody could do it. That is, if they had it in the right way. Okay. There we go. Running smooth. 2 for 2. Let's get this cap on and get out of here. Okay, this lens cap is nice and easy. Just twist it on. And wait a second. Something is not working here. Did I get epoxy on there? Is something else broken? It doesn't feel right. Oh well, let's just put it on and maybe put a little muscle into it this time. Let's crank that on. See if that works. That doesn't work. This has taken longer than anyone in human civilization to put on a silly little lens cap. Okay, what is this? Does that work? That doesn't work. Hey, what is this down here? Little tab? Yep, that's it. Ah, so proud. Let's just get a little Aerospace 303 on there. and give it a little UV protection, and this project is done. With that finished, I feel pretty good about myself. I decided to call it an early evening, have a big day tomorrow. So my walk back, I talk a bit about the few last projects on the checklist to do before the crane comes in the morning. And I glance over and I see Wayfinder, the other boat that will be having its mast stepped at the same time, which was by design. We had been planning to do this the same day to help split the cost of the crane. It makes that pill just a little bit more comfortable to swallow. Bright and early the next morning, with T-minus 2 hours to lift. There's still just a few things to do. Mainly, I need to talk a bit about this table load of lines. Let's back up a few weeks, where we had measured up all of the replacement rigging and made lists of parts and pieces to bring this all together. The order was placed and shipped promptly, but has been slowly swimming its way to Panama from Florida. Needless to say, the components are not here. The mast will still go up regardless. So this pile of lines have been rigged up to temporarily hold the mast up until all of the parts come in. So I loaded up all of the makeshift stays and shrouds and headed up to the yard. And that's when it happened. The sound, somehow, started working again. Okay, that should be it. Everything's connected. Fastened everything down at the other end. I think I'm ready to hoist. Well, at least on the mast. Now I gotta boogie back to Basik and get everything ready over there. When this crane gets here, it's quite expensive by the hour. Just to drive from Panama to here, Panama City to here, $1,200, and then an hourly rate on top of that. So we want to turn and burn as fast as we can. I want to have everything prepped. I'll be ready for them. Well, I've had a busy morning. Basik is all set. I've got fenders out on both sides now. We're going to actually stage in the lift area. I think it's probably a 30-foot beam in there, so we've got a few feet of spare. Got water disconnected, power's off. I've taken off most of my dock lines. We've just got a couple hanging on right now, one on each corner. I've got my tackle all set up right here for our running backstays. I've got extra lines. I've got a couple bodies that'll come help us. Kind of sucks with the girls gone right now. It's the first time we're doing anything like this without them. It just feels different. I know they're missing it, but this one just has to happen. No way for them to get down here right now. Now it's just a waiting game. Crane is left Panama City, waiting for the phone call from the marina. They're gonna let me know as soon as they get any word. Actually, it won't be a phone call. I'm sure they'll run one of the guards down here to let me know. They did that last time. But it's exciting. When this happens, it's gonna go quick. It's going just about where the crane is over here. Right on the other side of that crane is the haul out facility. I'll slip right in there. The other small crane will pull in, pick up our mast. I would assume 10 minutes once I leave the dock here to get staged in the slip. I am all set. If we could lift that mast, it should be installed in 15 minutes or less.
and then 10 minutes back. So 45 minutes round trip should give me plenty of time. We'll see how things go. I don't see any hiccups on this. It's just basically set the mast in the hole and I tie it down. That's it. Not too worried. The hard part is just getting over there and back, and pretty confident on that too. The wind has calmed down. Been blowing in the 20s every day. Now it's beautiful, so the weather gods are on my side today. Okay, actually I'm kind of excited. Get that mast back on. We'll see how it goes. Okay, this is it. My temporary crew. Okay, thank you.
Stern's clear.
Perfect. Here we go. Lining up the slot.
Más cosas, Hernán, que lo que trabaja. Ese que se me olvidó, Hernán. Yo te pido más cosas de lo que trabaja. Ese que se me olvidó. No.
Okay, that went fairly smooth. They're getting us off or out of the slip here. They're loading up for the next boat. Well, I had to scramble real quick to get that mast up. didn't have a lot of time. We were paying for that crane on an hourly rate. So we had one more boat behind me, and that was Wayfinder. He had to get his mast up. He was staged and ready to go, so we were hustling. But let's take a look at what we did. I put the mast up with none of the rigging in place. So here's how we handled it. We had the two lines coming from the mast head. I put one on each side of the crossbar. I took my spinnaker halyard and put it where my jib goes. This is my jib halyard. Just tied it off to a cleat. Then we took my intermediate shrouds and just, rather than these going down, I just tied them off to cleats on either side. This is the only piece of equipment that's staying, my running backstays. Those are complete. The last thing I did was my topping lift. Ran it down and just tied it off for the traveler. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of contact. It's holding the mast up fine. I'm not worried about it. Can't go anywhere. For this to fall over now would be, I mean, it would be some amazing winds. We're just not going to see that here. I only planned on having this temporarily rigged for a day or two because my parts are en route. Well, they were en route. We pulled the mast, and as soon as I get back in the slip, I get notice that my rigging parts are in. I just don't have time to put them in now. I fly out tomorrow morning. Day's about over, and it's just gonna have to wait. Look at this. Here they are. So it'll be a hustle and bustle over the next couple of weeks. Get back here, take care of some business. I mean, look at, here's our roller furling. Just sitting right here next to Basik. Okay, I'm leaving in the morning. I haven't even thought about packing yet. I gotta pack things up, get everything ready, put Basik in stow mode, and get on out of here.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Onboard Lifestyle. A special thanks goes out to our amazing patrons, whose generous support drives the production of our videos. Join our crew if you can. We were sad to miss this Basik milestone moment, but the captain handled it easily. The Basik crew will soon be back together, so come back next week to see how that storyline plays out. See you then!